Good afternoon, all. I have brought you here today because we are discussing an issue at hand, which is infant mortality. And we have a couple things that we need you all to know about infant mortality, and the goal is to decrease the rate of this. We have a suggestion as far as a program goes to provide somewhat of a solution to this issue, which we will move forward with and start explaining. To look ahead, you will notice in the next few slides, so slide 3, there will be the figures that are listed in the presentation, and then there's an abstract that we will go over. Then there's the Text for Baby program, which is the suggested program that we will be talking about. And then we have a figure that explains leading causes to infant mortality. And then we have the problems with infant mortality, best solutions, some helpful facts, the conclusion, and our references. So the following graphs that you will see later on in this presentation will be the pros and cons to Text for Baby, which is the program that we are suggesting, and the infant mortality rate leading causes in 2014 and 2015. So what I will be going over in the following slides is this. The infant mortality rate is our primary focus, and we must decrease this rate. Currently, the running 3 leading causes of infant mortality rate is birth defects, preterm underweight babies, and SIDS. The leading causes of infant mortality are issues that are more sudden and most of the time are unexplainable or unavoidable. So the solutions hold the purpose of reducing the risk rather than curing the issue. The best solution to provide a suggested program that will supply knowledge for the best ways to help maintain a healthy pregnancy and keep newborns healthy. This program is called Text for Baby. So to move forward and explain what the program is, again, it's called Text for Baby. And this is a project that was created by a nonprofit called National Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies Coalition. And this is a project that has been happening since 2010. And as Figure 1 explains, we have a list of pros and cons to this program. But essentially, you will text a number, or a mother-to-be will text a number. Basically, whoever wants the following information or has a question, they can text the number and information will be provided to them. But there are some certain guidelines and a lot of benefits to this program, which are, this is a program that is accessible for all. So there's no problem with commuting to different places or commuting to different groups that can provide some knowledge to having a baby or their baby or certain questions that they have. You don't have to go and drive to a specific place to get the answers. This is literally in hand. All you need is a cell phone and being able to just text for baby, text the number, and get your answers. And this is free. And the information is instant for all mothers, and it provides an English and Spanish translation, and also includes answers to the following questions from the prenatal stage of babies and up to the age of 1-year-old infants. So there is a cutoff time for this. It can only provide information on babies that are either while you're pregnant or up until the age of 1 year old. So once it passes that age and there's certain new things that arise when it comes to children, this number is not meant for that. It's strictly meant for babies. Some of the cons include that you can only text the number 3 times per week. So this is not supposed to be your primary care when it comes to getting answers for your baby. It has to be just your secondary option. So it's not a pediatrician, it's not a doctor, it's not a doula, it's not in any way a baby guru that can be handy at all hours of the day. This is a number that's only for an emergency, and if you cannot access anyone else, then you can text this number 3 times per week. and it'll provide you some answers for some questions that you may have. So you are limited. It does have a cap off time, just to be aware of. And even though it does provide English and Spanish translations, there are people who speak other languages, and so it may not be as easy to get your answers with this app. I mean, you could use Google Translation to translate the answers into the language that you primarily speak, but it wouldn't be as easy to use this app or to use this number and get your answers instantaneously. So there's probably going to be additional steps that occur during that process if you do speak another language, which that can be a little hurdle that you'll have to get over. But other than that, it is very beneficial for mothers. And there is a provided graph that includes all the leading causes of infant mortality in the years of 2014 to 2015. And as you can see, it lists off a good amount of factors that or leading causes of the infant mortality. But the primary causes include the birth defects, preterm birth, and SIDS. And most of the leading causes of the infant deaths have no definite solution to help decrease the infant mortality rate. So as you can see, like birth defects, preterm birth, and SIDS, these are all issues that can be more sudden, can be unavoidable, can come surprisingly. Most of the time, there's no guaranteed solution to fix these issues, but there are ways to help the issue kind of just lower the risks of them. And in my best solution slide, I have listed that the best solution is just to provide knowledge. This is knowledge to mothers to be the information on how to have a healthy pregnancy so that the baby can come out healthy, and also mothers who have had the baby so that they can use the knowledge during the infant stage of the child's life that can help lower the infant mortality rate. So there are specific things that can help kind of avoid these issues, but again, birth defects, the preterm birth, and the SIDS, sometimes they're unexpected or unavoidable. So some helpful facts are for birth defects. This is as you saw in the graph, this is currently the leading cause of infant mortality. So to reduce this risk of certain birth defects, women should be taking folic acid before and once pregnant. And then having a full-term healthy weighted baby is the goal, since preterm underweight babies are the second leading cause of infant mortality, as you saw in the graph. And this can be common if the mother does not have a healthy, well-rounded nutrition and is not taking vitamins. So it is key to be just eating all the correct foods and taking all the vitamins, making sure that you're just healthy, active, and really taking care of the baby that is growing inside of you, and as well as taking care of yourself. And then for SIDS, this is the third leading cause of infant mortality, and this is mostly a sleep-related issue. It can happen in other ways, like a motor vehicle accident or infections, but the leading cause that is most unavoidable or most unexplainable is when it's sleep-related. So to reduce this issue is to make sure the baby is sleeping on its back, and its area that it's sleeping in, it's clear of stuffed animals and loose bedding, and it's a loose bedding environment so that it doesn't have that stuff in the way, it doesn't roll over in any way, and can just kind of avoid SIDS. And also, just another helpful fact is to also screen the babies for possible hereditary conditions or infections. This can be a little bit expensive, but I know that just to make that extra measure, it's good to just screen your babies to make sure that you can avoid any infections or any possible issues that can arise that's hereditary or not. Sometimes this can be the best way to kind of see what may happen or kind of predict any issues that may come up with your baby. But these, again, are just some helpful facts. These are kind of like the helpful facts that you will receive when doing the Text for Baby program. So as you can see, just providing this little bit of knowledge, it's super helpful for trying to avoid or lower the risk of those leading causes for infant mortality. So when you get the chance to text this number 3 times a week, it can provide you more information that will only decrease the risks even more. And so as you can see, the knowledge is just so helpful and so beneficial for everyone, and just can really help that rate go down. So to conclude, the goal is to decrease the risk of infant mortality with the help of Text for Baby, providing knowledge for all the soon-to-be mothers and mothers of infants that are going to be the age of 1 within the year. This is a nonprofit program that is predicted to help the rate of infant mortality go down. This program is free and accessible for all. This will be helpful to track if knowledge is the best solution to the problems that are mostly unpredictable when it comes to infant mortality, or if there is an area that should be targeted more. And I have a list of references below.